In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the new Golden State Warriors death lineup. This is a lineup that is absolutely killing it in the playoffs this year, so let's get down and let's check them out. Okay, so who is part of the death lineup? Obviously, Steph Curry, and then also Jordan Poole. We have Draymond Green, we have Wiggins, as well as Klay Thompson. No centers at all. And then one of the ways you can beat this is, of course, with a screen and roll if you have a big man, especially if that big man can roll off of screens to get to the rim. However, here they pressure that ball handler really badly to a point where he turns it over. Basically, how they do this is they don't have a traditional center guarding Denver's center. Curry fights over the screen and Klay Thompson hedges hard. When that happens, we have the weak side wing. He then hedges up to be able to cut off Jokic, whether it be from a drive or a potential shot. However, here it does turn over the ball, so it doesn't really matter. And what we see here is very important because, of course, they are not set up on their defense yet. So if you are a young player, watch what Jordan Poole does right here. He picks up that ball, he passes it to the referee, and calls for it back quickly. This is because this defense is not running back. They're walking back. So if you can get that ball inbounded quickly enough, you will be able to force that defense to set up in potentially mismatched opportunities, as we see here, Klay Thompson being guarded by Jokic. And because Klay Thompson is such a better player and quicker player, he's able to attack Jokic and finish with what could have been a dunk. See, you may think that having a tall guy on you, especially at a younger age, may be hard for you to be able to attack and drive on. Well, guess what? Those bigger players are much slower. They may be ranked. They may be the number one player in your state or your province, but guess what? They are much slower. So if you can attack them off the dribble, you're going to be able to finish much easier because they're much slower, and you may be able to get them in foul trouble. They run a really good screen and roll offense as well. So here, Draymond Green came from the post, acted like he was about to screen, but continued through. These two players here are switching, and then we have Draymond Green who sets that screen for Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson comes off of that screen, he gets that pass, and because Draymond Green is such a strong screener, but it's not just the screener's reason here, it's because Klay Thompson set that up perfectly. He jabbed quickly towards the side, and then he used that screen. He made sure that that player got stuck on that screener, and because of that, he was able to get himself open for that shot, and that's how you use a off-ball screen perfectly. In this next play, we're seeing, of course, Wiggins with the ball here, and it gets really interesting. They pass to the corner. They really try to attack Jokic. Jokic is much slower than anybody else on this court, and that is one of the strategies that you can run against bigger, smaller teams. However, one thing that you also need to see and do if you are the player with the ball, whether you're big or not, is to watch for players who are cutting. The thing with being in the post is you can now see the entire court from the opposite direction. So, because of that, if you've got players who can read defenses, this guy is not paying attention to Curry. Because of that, Curry's able to cut backdoor, and because this player is facing this way, you want to cut on that side. And when he does that, he's able to get a wide open layup. Yes, it was blocked, but it was a goaltending charge. And from Draymond Green's standpoint, you can see the entire floor here. You can see which players are not paying attention. And now you can see the exact passing lane that Draymond Green had, which is absolutely a massive, massive passing lane. And because of that, Steph Curry was able to get a basket. See, the thing with being in the low post is you don't have to be super big to be able to contest these shots. See, the thing down in the low post is if you're shorter, just stand your ground. Do not let him back you up. Keep your hands straight up in the air, as we see right there, and you can contest that shot. That's the best you can do, because if you just contest that shot, if you have enough rebounders, players who are boxing out, great job right here, you're going to be super successful. Help defenders. Wiggins in this case could have got in there and stole that ball. We see multiple dribbles. He could have jumped in there and tried to steal that ball. There's so many different opportunities here, but Draymond Green played fantastic defense. Now, after you set a screen, here we're seeing a pin down screen for Steph Curry. Everyone's going to be worried about Curry. He's a three-point monster. If you are setting a pin down screen and you've got your man going up to guard your shooter, the guy you just screened for, and his man continuing through, and you have an open lane afterwards, you definitely need to take that. Read the defense. This is wide open. This guy here should have been going down to cut that off. However, that didn't happen. There was no defensive rotation, and because of that, Klay Thompson was able to get that layup. Now, the thing with having an all-small lineup is you can really attack these big players and get them to the rim. So here, Steph Curry has no chance of getting that shot off over Jokic because of his length. But he can use hesitations to get Jokic off his feet, and then he can attack. And Jokic is not going to be ever able to keep up with Curry. And then when you set this play in motion, if we go back and you do that kick out pass, that could have been a 3 if it was open, but they had a good defensive rotation down. Steph Curry continues to then run off ball. See, the Warriors run a style of offense that I really like, and that is just everyone screen for Curry. If you see him, you need to screen for him. And of course, that is how they're able to win a lot of games. However, they have so many other offensive weapons other than Steph Curry that defenses will be preoccupied with what he's doing. They would rather have a player who's very good in the low post in a mismatch than allow Curry to stay open. And that's why that shot right there was able to go in. He's very good in the post and he had a mismatch. So if you have a small team, you don't necessarily have to play with a big man. You can win a lot of games with small players. We can see that with the Golden State Warriors. And guess what? You can do the exact same style with younger teams as well. If you are playing up against a bigger team, you have to attack the basket. You have to get those bigger guys in foul trouble, and you're much faster than them in most cases, which means that you should be able to get to the rim much easier. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.